We need to prep, we need to reach, and we need to take action towards our next year's goals, which means doing it now if we haven't already done it. I'm a big one of doing these things in October. But what are we doing right now for next year? Because what's going to happen with our business in January? What are we promoting in January and February?
Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes, because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments and, of course, to join the Academy, the membership group, where there's constant connection and community with like-minded practitioners. Now, let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you today? So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I want to talk about the fact that it's the end of the month and your vision for the future. So, on Monday, we have the Clinical Monday group. So, we meet 3 times a month on a Monday at lunchtime, and we have a messenger chat in between. You can join if you want to. You just need a focus call with me first, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is what we talked about on Monday. And that is the first person that came on, because everybody gets a hot seat. Everybody gets time to ask their questions. It's generally about their clients, but it's not always. And the first person on today, on Monday, said, I wonder about my vision. I've had lots of epiphanies, and Geraldine coming on the retreat was amazing. And it's really got me to focus, and it's got me to look at where I'm going and what I'm doing. And it's really got me thinking about my vision for the future. And my vision has changed. It's the same, and yet it's changed. So she went on to talk about the specifics, which I'm not going to share with you. But that's just made me think I need to talk to you guys about that, because it's the end of the year. And that's why I have the physical retreat here in Adelaide at the end of the year. Because when we think about that vision, where we're going and what we're doing, we're setting ourselves up, all right? We set ourselves up in the first place. We got ourselves a qualification, we got ourselves a business, we got ourselves a job, we kept doing the job. We had a vision way back at the beginning that may or may not have been what is happening now. And so then we start to just do the job, and the vision can get lost. So we draw ourselves back to that vision and realize that vision needs to change in whatever way for whatever reason. And then, well, how do I change it? How do I align with this new me? Because you change. We all naturally change. Physically, mentally, emotionally, our lives change. Everything changes. And yet, do we want to get rid of this job? Do we want to change that much that we stop doing this and do something else? Really? Do we? Or do we just need to reconnect with our vision, to look back and go, how can I, last podcast, diversify? How can I change it up? But what is my vision for the future now? And at the end of November, with Christmas looming, with the summer holidays, everything changes. The kids are off. Our client base changes. We take a holiday generally. What is your vision for next year? And so at the end of the month, I often have let's ask ourselves to reflect and set our intentions for the month ahead. We reflect back, but we're in November. So let's not just reflect back through November. Let's reflect back this year, all of this year to the beginning of this year. Now, from the beginning of this year, let's reflect back 2 years, or let's reflect back to when you finished your training. Let's reflect back to when you started your training and why you chose to start your training. What were your choices then? What was your vision at the beginning of training, your vision at the end of training? And what is in alignment with that vision now? Is it in alignment, or have you changed so much that vision is no longer relevant, because that is okay if that is what has happened. What were your biggest wins, not just for November, but for the whole year? What are your wins to now? Because we're heading into the summer holidays. Sitting and reflecting New Year's Day, yes, do that. Reflect on things. But generally over Christmas, New Year, we're reflecting more on our family situation. We're reflecting more on our connections with people, those that we know and those that we love, rather than our business. We do think about our business, but we're not in the toasting a glass of champagne at midnight. It's not your business generally that leaps to mind. It might be, but generally it's the person or the people who are with you that are at the forefront of your mind. And your business then comes to mind because you're financing these people or whatever it is. But we want to know to now, to the end of November, how have things gone financially, emotionally, socially through the year? What is happening with my business since I started out? What were my biggest wins, not only in November, but this year? What's happened to the end of this month that's been so significant to support us? Now, how do all of these things align with my business that have happened? Maybe the emotional and social things haven't aligned at all with your business, and so it's making you doubt your business or doubt the people you hang out with. Sometimes we have to cut ties with people, and leading into Christmas, that's going to be harder because you normally give gifts to people and you realize those people aren't your people anymore. Or you've got new people, or maybe what is it? What is going on with you and your people? It is a time of reflection because we're looking forward as well to the new year. And you may not be there yet because you might still be in the throes of the Christmas pageant or whatever it is. But the end of November is a significant time in our business because we hopefully are slowing down for Christmas. We're hopefully taking a break. Hopefully our clients are taking a break. And so now is a good time to really reflect on what's gone on this year. And the other thing is we need to prep, we need to reach, and we need to take action towards our next year's goals, which means doing it now if we haven't already done it. I'm a big one of doing these things in October. But what are we doing right now for next year? Because what's going to happen with our business in January? What are we promoting in January and February? Are you going to be promoting the New Year's resolutions? That's what they're called. Will you be promoting New Year's resolution? Let me keep you accountable and motivational for you. Are you going to join my group to help lose weight or support you through your weight loss journey? Because I can motivate you with that as your New Year's resolution. What is it? What are you going to be doing? You need to be thinking about how your year is going to start and what you're doing and delivering next year to your client base. Maybe you want to change up your diary next year. Once the kids go back, maybe one child is in kindy that hasn't been there before, and so you're going to have extra time, and that means changing your calendar. So that means looking at your calendar now, because what are your holidays going to be next year? How is that going to relate to the other children and to the things that you do? Maybe you actually need the kindy time to not work, but to go to the supermarket and run around like a mad thing. Or maybe, well, I would see my client in the kindy time, and then it really was a case of running around, isn't it? Juggling everything. So how are you going to juggle everything next year? How are you going to fit it all in, work it all out? But next year, end of November, you have to make sure your emails are done, your reply emails, that you've emailed everybody. I think I talked about this last week, didn't I? Emailed everybody about your holidays, that they need to buy stuff in preparation for their holidays, what your opening hours are next year. So now we're right at the end of the month, not much left of this month at all. So reflect back, reflect forward, write it down, journal it, spend some real time thinking about where you've come from and where you're going to, where you're headed, and what actions do you need to take to reach the goals that you want to reach the end of this year of 2023 and for next year, 2024. So maybe a few lists, write them down, get them out of your head and onto paper. And if you need my support, book in a focus call before I go on holiday. Then my books are closed over Christmas. So get in now and do it now. So it was lovely chatting, and I look forward to seeing you on the next cast. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.